Hey Chaotic Crew, Brian here, and we're diving right into the Spider-Verse with this next deck tech. But first, make sure you like the video if you enjoy it, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of our future deck techs, pre-con upgrades, anything like that, and make sure you become a channel member. It gives you extra entries on our future pre-con giveaways or anything like that. And without further ado, Cosmic Spider-Man. So, Cosmic Spider-Man, 5 colors for a 5/5 Spider-Human hero. Has flying, first strike, trample, lifelink, and haste. So lots of keywords there. And at the beginning of combat in your turn, other spiders you control gain flying, first strike, trample, lifelink, and haste until end of turn. Now, this is definitely made to work with all the Spider-Man cards, so you can run the Spider-Verse deck, right? But it also just works with every spider. So probably the best new Spider Commander to come out of the set. And just a good card overall. So really the goal is just to play a lot of spiders, have them all deal damage, and just be able to do a lot. So most of the cards are going to be from this new set. There are a couple other cards. You can see Lulth right there on the screen. In fact, let's go ahead and make this even larger so you can get a better view. Cosmic Spider-Man, very cool art. If you prefer the alt art, Scion of the Earth Spider, I really love that too. I hope they do eventually print in universe that instead of just being on Arena, but very cool if you want to go that route as well. So yeah, like I said, Planeswalkers, we are running Lulth, Spider Queen. Great to have in any Spider Kindred deck. 5 mana with 2 black for 4 loyalty Planeswalker. Whenever a creature you control dies, put a loyalty counter on Lulth. You can pay 0 to draw a card and lose a life, or you can -3, create 2 2/1 black spider creature tokens with menace and reach. -8 to get an emblem with whenever an opponent is dealt combat damage by 1 or more creatures you control. If that player lost less than 8 life this turn, they lose life equal to the difference. So our commander giving all of our spiders flying and trample is really great, meaning if we do hit in with some of these spiders, then guess what? We're actually going to be dealing tons of damage if we can get Lulth's ult off. Problem with that, we have to have a lot of creatures die to be able to get that off, so maybe a board wipe on our end. We really are playing Lulth to get -3 once, maybe twice, and then also draw us a couple cards. That's kind of the main reason Lulth's in, but if you can't ult, it is really good in the deck. For creatures, we're running 32 creatures, and like I said, most of them are from the Spider-Man set. Just to go over a couple ones quickly, Birds of Paradise, obviously great ramp spell right there. We've also got Delighted Halfling. Most of our creatures are legendary, so going to be really useful there. Other ramp pieces, Spider Manifestation is going to give us red or green, and gets untapped as well as a spider as well. Speaking of spider ramp pieces, Twitching Doll is a spider that also adds mana of any color, so works fantastic with the deck there. And then we also have Ornithopter of Paradise and Sakura Tribelder to get us some more colors there. As far as other cards in the deck, Arana, Heart of the Spider. We're just going to dive right in. Whenever you attack, put a +1/+1 counter on target attacking creature. Whenever a modified creature you control deals combat damage to a player, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. This card's great. It's going to buff up your creatures. Maybe not your commander. Your commanders are going to be targeted removal from your opponents, so maybe start buffing up some of your other creatures that are going to be buffed by your commander even more. And then you get pseudo card draw, which is great to have in the deck. Arasta of the Endless Web just gives you more spiders, and is a spider itself, so very strong in this deck particularly. Those are also great blockers because they all have reach. Aunt May is a 1-drop 0/2. Whenever another creature you control enters, you gain a life. Incidental life gain's always great, but if it's a spider, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. So 1 mana to give all your spiders that enter a +1/+1 counter. It's great. It works for tokens as well, so just really great with the deck. We have Ghost Spider Gwen Stacy. It's a 4/4 with Menace for 5 mana. Whenever Ghost Spider attacks, she deals X damage to defending player, where X is the number of attacking creatures. So typically, we'll probably maybe have like 4 or 5 creatures when Ghost Spider's out. And yeah, you'll do 4 damage to a player. If you have a massive board, maybe you're going to do more. It really just depends. But Ghost Spider is alright in this deck. Not the best card. Just something to play if you need to play it. But it will get haste with your commander, so you can play it to sort of surprise someone with the damage. Gwenum Remorseless is really great. 4/4 for 5 mana with Death Touch and Lifelink. Whenever Gwynam attacks until end of turn, you may look at the top card of your library anytime, and you may play cards from the top of your library. If you cast a spell this way, pay life equal to its mana value rather than pay its mana cost. So what's great about Gwynam, besides the amazing ability, is that Gwynam has Death Touch. And if you get your commander out, Gwynam's also going to get First Strike and Trample. So First Strike, Trample, Death Touch, or even just Trample Death Touch is great, but First Strike is even better. To just deal 1 damage to any creature that blocks it, and then the other 3 will automatically go through. You don't have to worry about anything else. So really fantastic with your commander here, and gives you some incidental card game. We have a life gain in the deck, as you saw with Aunt May, and some other cards we'll get to, as well as Gwynam, who has lifelink. Well, our commander gives everyone lifelink. So yeah, we're going to be paying life to cast spells. This card is definitely probably the best card in the deck, just because it synergizes so well. Mary Jane Watson, not a spider like Aunt May, but whenever a spider you control enters, you draw a card once each turn. So card draw there is great. Having each spider replace itself, or one spider replace itself a turn, is fantastic. Miles Morales, which isn't a spider, but you can cast Miles for the backside. But we'll go to the backside first. When Miles Morales enters, you put a +1/+1 counter on each of the 2 target creatures, and then you can pay 6 mana to transform Miles as a sorcery. So this is good. It's also buffing up your creatures. Not bad to have. Backside is amazing though. Ultimate Spider-Man. It is a spider. So First Strike, Haste. Your commander will give it that anyways. But you can pay 2 to put a +1/+1 counter on Ultimate Spider-Man. He gains hexproof and becomes colorless until end of turn. So that's really cool there to buff him even more. Whenever you attack, double the number of each kind of counter on each spider and legendary creature you control. So very strong in this deck. We are running a bit of a 1/1 counter synergy in here, so that works out pretty well. Mirkwood Spider from the Lord of the Rings set, just a 1-drop 1/1 Death Touch. When it attacks, target legendary creature you control gains Death Touch until end of turn. That's great. Mirkwood Spider is also going to get First Strike and Flying from your commander, so hard to block. And it's going to make another of your creatures be able to have that Death Touch, First Strike, Trample combination that is so powerful. So really great here, and just a combo is fantastic. Peter Parker, similar to Miles, it isn't a spider at first, but you could cast it for its backside, which is a spider. But Peter, when he enters, does make a 2/1 spider. So you might actually want to cast Peter on the front side. And then the backside's only 4 mana, and it's just a 4/4 with Vigilance and Reach, so it has Vigilance, which the commander doesn't give, and Reach. Each legendary spell we cast that's 1 or more colors has Web Slinging. So you can get a lot of your Spider-Man in here, or even other legendary creatures or spells. So Web Swinging could be helpful. It's why we added the mana dorks that we have, just so that, because they're easy to cast back out. But really just a 4/4 that's easy to get out, and it gets us a spider on the front side, so not bad there. Radioactive Spider from this new set is a 1/1 for 1, similar to Mirkwood Spider. But this has Reach and Death Touch, and then also you can pay 2 mana to sacrifice it, search your library for a spider hero, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Activate only as a sorcery. Thinking about it, probably the best one to get is Gwynam. If you're needing like card advantage, you can also get Spider-Ham, who we'll get to later. Maybe you need one that deals with removal a bit more, but yeah, there's a few ones you can get here, but really strong card. Roaming Throne looks like a spider on the card, and is pretty neat. We'll double all the spider triggers you have. Scarlet Spider, Ben Riley, is a 4/3 for 3 mana, which is great anyways, but also has Web Slinging for 2. So you can cast this turn 2 with a mana dork, and really strong there. Trample, when it enters, if it was cast using Web Slinging, it gets X +1/+1 counters, where X is the mana value of the return creature. So maybe it'll be 1 or 2, but still, that makes it a 5/4 for 2 mana. With Trample, that's great. Shelob, Child of Ungoliant, 6 mana for an 8/8, probably the previous de facto Spider Commander before this set came out. Death Touch and Ward 2, giving other spiders you control Death Touch and Ward 2, which again works so well with your commander. Whenever another creature dealt damage this turn by a spider you control dies, create a token that's a copy of that creature, except it's a food. With Sacrifice this artifact, you gain 3 life, and it loses all other card types. So you are going to get copies of enter the battlefield triggers, of activated abilities, other, triggered abilities. So really strong card here in the deck, and just a big body 8/8 when it enters. If with your commanders out, it'll get haste and lifelink. So yeah, giving all your spiders ward 2 is also very helpful. This will definitely be removed if it can be, so we've got to protect it with the other spells that may be coming up soon. Spider, piloted by Penny, 5 mana 4/4 Vigilance. When Spider enters, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, so kind of dealing with that +1/+1 synergy there. Whenever a modified creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So this gives us some more card draw. Pretty neat there. Spectacular Spider-Man, 2 mana for a 3/2 with Flash. You can pay 1 to give him flying, and you can also pay 1 to sacrifice him to give your creatures hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. So great protection there, in theme as well. Spider-Ham, Peter Porker, when he enters, you make a food. He's a 2/2 for 2, and also buffs spiders and a bunch of other creature types +1/+1. So really great to buff all your spiders in this deck and make them even more powerful. Spider-Man 2099 is amazing. You can't cast him during your first, second, or third turns of the game, though. But fourth and onwards, go for it. He's 2 mana 2/3 for double. He has double strike and vigilance. At beginning of your end step, if you played a land or cast a spell this turn from anywhere other than your hand, say your commander, Spider-Man 29 deals damage equal to his power to any target, which isn't going to be amazing, but maybe you'll get to remove a piece here and there. We can give him +1/+1 counters to some of the cards in this deck, so you could theoretically get this up a lot more, but you're not going to be doing a lot. You're just going to get rid of them, be a mana dork or something else. But the double strike and the vigilance is definitely nice to have in this deck. But we also have a second 2099, Miguel O'Hara, for 4 of anything in a blue for a 4/4. Whenever Spider-Man 2099 enters, return up to 1 target creature to its owner's hand. So it's semi-removal, a little bit of a tempo piece. And then whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, you draw a card. So the potential to draw you multiple cards a turn, very strong in this deck. And, because our creatures with our commander are going to be evasive anyways, there's only going to be a couple creatures that can really do much to block us. So being able to bounce that to our owner's hand and then attack in and draw 3 cards is really worth it to draw a bunch of cards, set our opponents back a card, really big tempo swing here. Spider-Man Brooklyn Visionary is 5 mana for a 4/3, but it's got web slinging for 3, and if you can have him enter, you search your library for a basic land, put it on the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle. So really, just worth web slinging. If you have a mana dork that you can recast, then you can just get the free land, and then replay the mana dork. You're essentially ramping that turn. So just a way to ramp out in this deck with a spider, which this deck very much cares about. Spider-Man India, 5 mana for a 4/4. Lots of 5 mana spiders in this deck. Definitely a mana value we see a lot of. But he has web slinging for 3, which is nice. And whenever you cast a creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control against flying until end of turn. So having these cards that work well even without the commander is amazing in the deck, just because our commander will be drawing lots of hate. And so being able to buff him as well is also fantastic. Spider-Man Miles Morales, 6 mana for a 5/5 with Vigilance and Trample. Whenever he attacks or enters, you put a +1/+1 counter on each other creature you control. Those creatures gain Trample until end of turn. So, again, your commander's already going to give everything Trample, but this will give all of them +1/+1 counters, which we do care about, and will help our massive boards get even bigger. Spider-Man Noir, another 5 mana spider for 4 mana. Another 5 mana spider. He's a 4/4 with Menace, and whenever a creature you control attacks alone, put a +1/+1 counter on it, then surveil X, where X is the number of counters on it. Typically not going to be attacking alone, but if we need the surveil, it's nice to have, and also if it's the only Spider-Man on the board, you can give it counters, right? So that's helpful there, but not amazing. Spider-Punk, though, 2 mana for a 2/1, Riot, gives other spiders Riot, spells and abilities can't be countered, damage can't be prevented. We are running a handful of counters in this deck, so need to make sure we're careful about that when Spider-Punk is on the battlefield, but nothing too crazy to have to worry about there. This will probably take some removal from your opponents. Spider-Woman, Stunning Savior, is the next card. We'll get to her here. 1 and either... any of the Azorius colors, so white or blue, for a 2/2 flyer, Venom Blast. Artifacts and creatures your opponents control enter tapped. So really kind of being a hate bear in the deck. Already having flying is nice, but yeah, essentially making it harder for your opponents to play blockers that can actually block your creatures. Tarion Mauler is a great spider in this +1/+1 counter synergistic deck because it's going to give itself lots and lots of +1/+1 counters. Our commander is going to give it lifelink and trample and first strike, and hoo boy, this is going to be a hard one to deal with for sure. So definitely great in the deck. And then we have Web Warriors, lastly, 5 mana, another 5 mana spider for a 4/3, and when it enters, you put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. So, like I said, a bit of a +1/+1 counter sub-theme, buffing our creatures. We want to get lots of creatures on the board, 4 or 5, and swing out for a lot of damage. If we can get more, that's even better. Sorceries, we got to ramp out to get our commander. This is a 5-color deck, and I didn't put any expensive lands in here, so we are definitely going to need lots of ramp. We saw, I think we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ramp pieces. In creatures, we've got Cultivate, Farseek, Kodama's Reach, Rampant Growth, 4 more here, so that's 10 total. There's a few more coming up, but as far as sorceries, we also have Raise the Palisade to return all non-spiders to their owner's hands, which is really great there. Instance, we are running Harrow as another ramp piece, so that's 11 ramp pieces there. Anguished Unmaking is great removal. We've got Assassin's Trophy, Beast Within as removal, and then as Swords to Plowshares is fantastic. Spectacular Tactics is cool too. It's great as either giving a creature protection or destroying another creature. So I like the modality, and it also gives +1/+1 counter, so it works in their deck, and it's thematic. As far as more protection spells, we have, like I said, a handful of counters. Offer You Can't Refuse, Arcane Denial, great to have here. Hide in the Ceiling to really help out and protect our board when we need it to. Spider Sense is also a fun little counter spell that can also counter a triggered ability, which might come out of nowhere. We have Heroic Intervention and Silk Guard. Silk Guard's a bit of a flavor win, I feel like, with spiders and everything. It also gives +1/+1 counters, and essentially give our creatures hexproof. And then, of course, we have Kindred Summons to get lots and lots of spiders in the battlefield with our commander out, and of course, Swing Face. So this is kind of the game ender here, and we want to make sure that we can get that set up. To do that, we also have Arachnogenesis up here to help get a lot of spiders and kind of a fog effect as well, and maybe get some removal on some of the creatures, so that's definitely a great card to have. Artifacts, Arcane Signet, Fellwar Stone, Herald's Horn, Patrick Banner. I count Herald's Horn as a ramp piece, just going to make our spiders cost 1 less. Some of our spiders, our commander is not going to really benefit unless it's in the command zone a second time, but it also helps potentially draw, so really great there. So we're running about 14 ramp pieces, which is really what you want to kind of be seeing these days. We also have Lightning Greaves and Swiftfoot Boots for protection, and the Great Hinge gives us more card draw and adds +1/+1 counters to our creatures. Also has an incidental life gain, which is helpful. So enchantments, we've got 5 of them. Flowering of the White Tree. Legendary creatures we control get +2/+1 and have Ward 1. Non-legendary creatures we control get +1/+1, so everything's getting buffed here, but especially most of our Spider-Men are getting really big buffs. We have Shared Animosity to kind of close the game out. We really don't want to play this too early, just because it can get hated out a lot early. If you have your commander out, you can definitely play this to gain lots of life, but it will definitely draw out some kind of removal from the table. So maybe wait until you can protect it with a counter spell or until everyone's tapped out. Rhythm of the Wild just gives creatures counters as they enter or haste, right? With our commander out, we really only need to give them counters. But if the commander's not out, it's great to have. Same with Rising of the Day. It gives your creatures haste, but legendary creatures you control get +1/+0, and is really mainly here for like that buff, but having the haste can be helpful. And then as far as lands, nothing crazy. Again, not playing very many expensive lands. Really the biggest land we're playing, besides Caverner Souls. Yeah, I totally said we weren't playing any expensive lands. Caverner Souls, we are playing that. Sorry. Plaza of Heroes is probably the next one, just to help get some of this stuff out. But Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, Great Hall of the Citadel, Path of Ancestry, Secluded Courtyard, Unclaimed Territory are really great cards to get whatever mana we need for our spiders, right? Whereas we have cards like Evolving Wilds, Fabled Passage, Terramorphic Expanse, the new card Vibrant Cityscape to search our library for basic lands. And then we have Urban Retreat, which is new from this set. Can sort of ramp itself out if we need to, but also taps for one of Bant, which is great. And then we're just running mostly basics. We do have the Swarm Yard to regenerate spiders if something gets destroyed. And of course, Plaza of Heroes also protects our commander. But then we're running 8 forests, with all the ramp. We want to make sure we have forests. 3 islands, 2 swamps, 5 plains, 3 mountains. Let's go ahead and give a quick little play test here. We are going to start a new game. We have 2 forests, a Path of Ancestry, Ornithopter, Rampant Growth. So I like this as it is. Let's go ahead and keep this hand right here, and I'm actually going to zoom out for this one. So draw, we get Flowering of the White Tree, which is not bad. We'll start with the Path of Ancestry tapped. And then pass, turn 2, we draw an island, which I like. We don't really need to draw too many more lands, but I don't hate if we do. So let's go ahead and play the forest and play the Ornithopter of Paradise. And then next turn we can Rampant Growth. So next turn, turn 3, we draw Arachnogenesis, which is nice. We're going to play this island, and we're going to tap these 2 for Rampant Growth, which we're going to view our library, and let's get a white mana. Not that it really matters a whole lot. White or red will be helpful here. Maybe let's go with the mountain, because we do run 5 plains and only 3 mountains. Okay. I'll go in the graveyard. We'll get this mountain out. And then we can play the path and the Ornithopter to get the Flowering of the White Tree out, which is really great to have. Next turn we can cast our commander. He'll have Ward 1 already, have 7 power. So now can kill someone in 3 turns. So fantastic to have here with this Flowering of the White Tree. Next turn, we draw Miles Morales, which is great. But let's go ahead and play the land. We could, instead of doing Flowering of the White Tree, play some other stuff. But I think getting our commander out is really important. We will get the Scry off of that. Right? Arcane Denial, good to keep on top, I think. And what's really great is we can just go ahead and swing in, gain 7 life, do whatever we need to do, right? If it gets removed next turn, that's fine. We're still in a really great position. This is just turn 4, and we already have someone 1/3 dead from commander damage. We already gained 7 life, so we're in a really great spot that way. We have solid cards in hand to deal with some of the board. Miguel can ring stuff to the hand if needed and help replenish our hand. Arana is great to buff some of our creatures. Miles Morales will start getting big. Arachnogenesis helps if someone tries to swing back at us and kill us with commander damage. So we're really doing pretty great in this hand. So one more play test. Now we're getting the 3 plains. So interesting. We also have Farseek and Fabled Passage. So I don't hate this. Lots of land and ramp and Miles. I don't hate that, but I don't love it either. I would say probably ship this one. 2 lands, Arcane Signet, and Delighted Halfling? Sure, why not? Let's do that one. We risk it for the biscuit. So play the island. Cool. Next turn, we play a plains, and we drew that one, which is nice. Tap 2 for Arcane Signet, and tap that for Delighted Halfling. So we're in business, right? If we draw another land that isn't a plains or an island, we can cast our commander this next turn, which is pretty crazy. And hey, we drew an Unclaimed Territory. We can declare spiders, so it can tap for a mana of any color to cast a spider. Tap 5 for our commander. It's uncounterable. Someone has to hold removal. I doubt they're holding removal on turn 3. This is a fantastic turn for us. We ended up top decking 2 lands. Really, one of them didn't matter, but we got there. So that's really good. That's the best play for this deck. If you wanted to wait, you could definitely hold off until you had enough mana for Heroic Intervention as well. But I don't hate this here, because even if someone does kill our commander next turn, we just have 2 mana away to recast it, but we can spend the next turn ramping out, getting Roaming Throne, or like Mirkwood Spider out as well. So yeah, we're in a good spot. We are definitely in a good spot. Yeah, don't really need to go more into that. Missing from this hand is card draw, but if we get any kind of card draw, Roaming Throne will help double that, which is really nice, and we can kind of go from there. Let's see what we would pick up next turn. Another land, and then some removal. So really relying on our commander to give the heavy lifting right here, right? But we did draw that second land, so we would be able to recast it at least once, and then Roaming Throne would be helpful there as well. But yeah, this deck is pretty fun. I wasn't expecting it to be this fun when I was building it, but it kind of surprised me, and I hope you enjoy it. Let me know in the comments below what you would put in, what you would take out of the deck if you're building Cosmic Spider-Man at all, or if you're building Scion of the Earth Spider. Would love to hear that and see how that's been going for you. Otherwise, hope you enjoy like your pre-releases as they happen. Hope you enjoy the set as it comes out. I'll keep making decks, and you know, make sure to like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel so you can watch future deck techs and any pre-con upgrades we have coming out. And then make sure to become a channel member so you get extra entries on pre-con giveaways or anything else that we do like that in the future. Otherwise, have a great time, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.